Captain Lee Dae-ho stood at the window of his ship, watching the massive space station called Nexus Prime grow larger as they approached. The station was bigger than Earth's moon, with metal towers reaching out like the arms of a giant spider. Ships from 12 different alien races moved around it like busy insects. "Captain, we're getting the docking signal," said his communications officer. Lee Dae-ho nodded but did not feel happy. This meeting would change everything for humanity. Inside the station, Ambassador Choi Hae-jin walked down the long hallway toward the council chamber. Her footsteps echoed off the metal walls. She had been Earth's voice to the galaxy for 20 years, but today might be her last day in this job. The council chamber was a huge, round room with seats arranged in a circle. Each of the 12 alien races had their own section. The Vitharians looked like living crystals that sparkled in the light. The Nephilim were clouds of gas that floated in special containers. The insect-like klaxons clicked their claws nervously. Dr. Park So-young sat in the human observation area with other Earth scientists and diplomats. She studied the faces of the alien representatives. Most of them would not look at the humans. This was a bad sign. The Vitharian leader, called the Prime Crystal, spoke first. Its voice sounded like music made of broken glass. "We are here to discuss the human problem. Earth has been part of our council for 150 years. In that time, humans have shown dangerous qualities." Admiral Kim Tae-min, the head of Earth's small fleet, felt his hands tighten into fists. He had fought beside these aliens in 3 different wars. Human ships had saved alien worlds. Human soldiers had died for alien civilians, and now they called humans dangerous. "Humans adapt too quickly," continued the Prime Crystal. "They learn our technologies and improve them. They solve problems we thought were impossible to solve. They refuse to accept limitations. This makes them a threat to galactic stability." A Nephilim delegate spoke next, its gaseous form swirling with angry colors. "Humans question our decisions. They suggest new ways of doing things. They want to change traditions that are millions of years old. This behavior will destroy the peace we have built." Ambassador Choi Hae-jin stood up when it was time for Earth to respond. Her voice was calm but strong. "Honored council members, humanity has served faithfully for 150 years. We have fought in your wars. We have shared our knowledge. We have helped build the peace you speak of protecting." She paused and looked around the chamber. "Yes, we adapt quickly. Yes, we ask questions. Yes, we try to solve problems. These qualities have helped us save alien lives and protect alien worlds. Why are these things suddenly dangerous?" The klaxon representative clicked its claws 3 times, which meant it wanted to speak. "The humans helped us during the Rim Wars. Their tactics saved my homeworld. I do not understand why we discuss removing them." But the klaxon was the only one who spoke for humanity. The other aliens had made their decision before the meeting even started. The vote was quick and brutal. 11 races voted to expel Earth from the Galactic Council. Only the klaxons did not vote against humanity, but they also did not vote to help them. The punishment was severe. Earth had 30 days to remove all humans from council space. They had to give back all the technology they had learned from other races. They had to return to their home solar system and stay there forever. If any human ship was found outside the Sol system after 30 days, the council would use force to stop them. Captain Lee Dae-ho watched from the observation deck as his ambassador collected her papers and prepared to leave. 150 years of cooperation had ended in less than 2 hours. As the human delegation prepared to return to Earth, Dr. Park So-young made a discovery that would change everything. She was in the station's data center, copying the files that Earth was allowed to take. While searching through historical records, she found something that made her blood run cold. The files were marked as restricted, but her access code still worked. She found records of 3 other races that had been expelled from the council in the past. The Karani had been expelled 400 years, ago for being too warlike, and the Zephirites had been removed 600 years ago for being too independent. The Malari had been cast out 800 years, ago for being too innovative. All her 3 races had been given the same punishment as humanity. Return to your home systems and never leave. Stay in quarantine forever. But that was not the worst part. Dr. Park So-young found battle reports and survey data that showed what really happened to those 3 races. Within 50 to 100 years after their expulsion, each race had somehow disappeared completely. Their homeworlds were found empty, with no signs of war or natural disaster. The official reports claimed they had probably destroyed themselves. Dr. Park So-young did not believe those reports. She copied the files onto a hidden data drive and rushed to find Captain Lee Dae-ho. "Captain, we need to talk," she said quietly. "I found something important." They met in a private room on the human ship. Dr. Park So-young showed him the files about the 3 lost races. Captain Lee Dae-ho's face grew dark as he read. "They killed them," he said simply. "The council waited until no one was watching, then they eliminated them." "That's what I think too," Dr. Park So-young replied. "And if we go back to Earth and stay in the Sol system like they want, we'll be next." Captain Lee Dae-ho stood up and walked to the window. Outside, alien ships moved around the station like sharks circling their prey. For 150 years, humanity had thought these aliens were friends. Now he knew the truth. They were predators, and Earth was next on their list. "We need to warn Earth immediately," he said. "Admiral Kim needs to know what we're really facing." As the human ships left Nexus Prime for the last time, Captain Lee Dae-ho made a promise to himself. Humanity would not go quietly into the dark like the 3 races before them. If the Council wanted Earth to disappear, they would have to work for it. The journey back to Earth took 5 days. During those 5 days, the human delegation planned for war. 6 months had passed since the Council expelled Earth. The news had shocked the people of Earth, but it did not break them. Instead, it made them angry and determined. President Kang Mi-ra stood before a crowd of 1 million people in Seoul. Behind her, giant screens showed the faces of humans watching from every city on Earth and every human colony in the solar system. Her words would be remembered forever. "The Galactic Council has told us we are too dangerous to be free," she said. Her voice carried across the silent crowd. "They want us to stay in our solar system like prisoners. They want us to forget everything we learned from them. They want us to become weak and helpless." The crowd began to murmur. Some people shouted angry words about the aliens who had betrayed them. President Kang Mi-ra raised her hand for silence. "But we will not do what they want. We will not become prisoners. We will not become weak. Today, I announce the New Horizon Initiative. We will build our own future among the stars." The plan was massive. Every human settlement in the solar system would work together. They would develop their own technology. They would find their own resources. They would build their own spaceships. Most importantly, they would prepare to defend themselves. Dr. Baek Ji-woo led the technology development team. She was Earth's best physicist, and she had been studying the Council's faster-than-light travel systems for years. But now she had to forget everything she learned from aliens and create something new. "The Council ships use quantum tunneling drives," she explained to her team. "They dig holes through space and time, but this method is slow and uses too much energy." Her team worked day and night in laboratories across Earth. They tested new ideas and failed hundreds of times. But humans were good at learning from failure. After 4 months, Dr. Baek Ji-woo made a breakthrough. Instead of digging holes through space, her quantum fold drive bent space around the ship. It was faster than Council drives and used half the energy. "We don't need to copy alien technology," she told President Kang Mi-ra. "We can create better technology." General Yu Sang-ho was in charge of building Earth's military strength. Before the expulsion, Earth had only 12 large warships and 50 smaller vessels. The Council had always told them this was enough. Now General Yu Sang-ho knew why the Council wanted to keep Earth's military small. They were planning to eliminate humanity, just like they had done to 3 other races. "We need ships that can fight Council vessels," he told his engineers. "Council ships are big and powerful, but they are slow and predictable. We will build ships that are fast and smart." The new human warships were smaller than Council vessels, but they were much more advanced. They used the new quantum fold drives to move faster than any alien ship. They had weapons that could punch through the strongest alien armor. Most importantly, they could work together as a team in ways Council ships could not. Commander Oh Jun-sik was chosen to lead the first expedition outside the solar system in 200 years. His ship, the New Dawn, was equipped with the latest quantum fold drive and the most advanced sensors Earth could build. The mission was secret. If the Council discovered humans leaving the solar system, they might attack Earth immediately. Commander Oh Jun-sik and his crew of 30 volunteers knew they might not return home. The New Dawn slipped out of the solar system on a dark night when Earth's orbital sensors could not see them leave. Their destination was a star system 50 light-years away. that council map said was surveyed and unsuitable for colonization. The journey took only 3 days with the new drive system. Council ships would have needed 2 weeks to cover the same distance. What Commander Oh Jun-sik found changed everything. The star system had 4 planets, and 2 of them were perfect for human colonization. The planets had water, breathable atmospheres, and rich mineral deposits. The council maps had lied, but that was not the most important discovery. On the 3rd planet, Commander Oh Jun-sik found the ruins of an ancient city. The buildings were made from materials that looked familiar. When his science officer analyzed them, she made a shocking discovery. "Captain, these ruins are from the Karani," she reported, the race that was expelled 400 years ago. Commander Oh Jun-sik felt his heart skip a beat. The Karani had not destroyed themselves. They had escaped to this system and built a new civilization. But something had happened to them. Further exploration revealed the terrible truth. Weapon scars on the planet's surface showed signs of a massive battle. Council energy signatures were found in the ruins. The Council had found the Karani and destroyed them. On the 4th planet, they found newer ruins. These belonged to the Zephirites, who had been expelled 600 years ago. The same pattern of destruction was evident. The Council had hunted them down and eliminated them. Commander Oh Jun-sik ordered his crew to collect evidence of the Council's crimes. They recorded everything and prepared to return to Earth immediately. But as they prepared to leave, their sensors detected something unexpected. A small ship was approaching from the outer edge of the system. It was not a Council design, and it was not human. The alien ship sent a message in broken English. "Human ship, please do not attack. We are friends of humans. We have waited long time to meet you." Commander Oh Jun-sik was suspicious, but he agreed to meet with the aliens. The alien ship docked with the New Dawn, and 3 creatures came aboard. They looked like large reptiles that walked on 2 legs. Their scales were green and brown, and they had intelligent yellow eyes. Their leader spoke with a device that translated his words. "I am Corvin of the Corvani people," he said. "We have watched your species for many years. We know the Council expelled you. They expelled us too, 300 years ago." Commander Oh Jun-sik was amazed. "You survived the Council's punishment?" "We hid," Corvin replied. "We learned to avoid their patrols. We built secret colonies and systems they never visit. When we heard humans were expelled, we hoped you would be smart enough to find us." The Corvani had been watching Earth's solar system with hidden sensors. They knew about the human fleet being built. They knew about the new technology. They wanted to help humanity fight the Council. "The Council fears humans because you are like us," Corvin explained. "You adapt. You innovate. You refuse to accept defeat. Together, we can stop them from destroying more races." Commander Oh Jun-sik made a decision that would change galactic history. He invited the Corvani to form an alliance with humanity. The Corvani had biotechnology that could help human colonies grow faster. Humans had military technology that could protect Corvani settlements. When the New Dawn returned to Earth, they brought news that shocked everyone. Humanity was not alone in opposing the Council. Other races had survived the Council's attempts to destroy them. They were hiding in the dark spaces between the stars, waiting for someone strong enough to help them fight back. President Kang Mi-ra called an emergency meeting of Earth's leaders. Admiral Kim Tae-min, General Yu Sang-ho, Dr. Baek Ji-woo, and Commander Oh Jun-sik presented their discoveries. "The Council is not just keeping us prisoner," President Kang Mi-ra announced. "They plan to eliminate us completely. But we will not let that happen. We will build an alliance of free races. We will spread across the galaxy, and if the Council wants to destroy us, they will have to fight for it." The room erupted in cheers. Earth's awakening was complete. 3 years had passed since Earth's expulsion from the Galactic Council. What had once been humanity's punishment had become their greatest opportunity. The Terran Federation now controlled 15 star systems and had alliances with 6 alien races. Captain Shin Dongwoo stood on the bridge of the colony ship Pioneer's Dream as it entered the Kepler 442 system. Behind him, 4 more colony ships carried 50,000 volunteers ready to build a new world. This would be humanity's 10th colony outside the solar system. "Captain, the planet looks perfect," reported his science officer. The world they called New Korea had green continents, blue oceans, and white clouds. Orbital scans showed rich mineral deposits and no dangerous life forms. Dr. Lim Hai-wan led the terraforming team that would prepare the planet for human settlement. She had learned to combine human engineering with alien biotechnology in ways that amazed everyone. Using Corvani bioseeds, she could create breathable atmospheres in months instead of centuries. The Corvani bacteria will adjust the oxygen levels, she explained to the colonists. The ethereal energy converters will control the weather patterns. In 6 months, this world will be more comfortable than Earth. The ethereal collective was humanity's newest ally. They were beings made of pure energy who lived in the gas clouds around giant planets. Most races could not communicate with them, but humans had learned to build translation devices that turned their energy patterns into words. Ambassador Nam Yu-jin had made first contact with the ethereals in the Proxima system. The energy beings had been hiding from the Council for over 1,000 years after watching them destroy other races. The Council fears change, the ethereal leader had told her. They believe the galaxy should never grow or improve. But you humans bring new ideas. You show us that change can be good. The ethereals shared their knowledge of quantum energy manipulation with humanity. Human engineers used this knowledge to build better weapons, faster ships, and more efficient power systems. Vice Admiral Han Sora commanded the Third Fleet, which protected the Federation's expanding territory. Her ships patrolled the borders of human space, watching for Council scouts and pirates. "Admiral, we're detecting a Council probe ship in the Tau Ceti system," reported her communications officer. Han So-ra studied the tactical display. The Council was sending more scouts every month, trying to learn about human expansion. Soon they would stop sending scouts and start sending warships. "Intercept the probe ship," she ordered, "but do not destroy it. Let them see our new ships. Let them report back to the Council that humanity is no longer hiding." The Council probe ship was a small, fast vessel designed for reconnaissance. When it detected the approaching human ships, it tried to flee. But the human vessels used quantum fold drives that made Council ships look slow. The Federation ships surrounded the probe without firing a shot. The alien crew found themselves facing weapons they had never seen before, and defensive systems they could not understand. "Council vessel, this is Vice Admiral Han Sora of the Terran Federation," she broadcast. "You are in Federation space without permission. Leave immediately and do not return." The Council ship transmitted a message back. "Human vessel, you are violating the terms of your expulsion. Return to your home system or face the consequences." Han Sora smiled. "Council vessel, the Terran Federation does not recognize your authority over free space. If you want us to leave, come and make us." The probe ship fled toward Council territory as fast as its old engines could carry it. Within days, the message would reach the Council. Humanity was no longer afraid. On the planet New Korea, the first human city was taking shape. Captain Shin Dong-woo watched as construction robots worked alongside Corvani bioengineers and ethereal energy specialists. Buildings grew from the ground using living materials that would adapt to weather changes. Power systems drew energy from quantum fluctuations in space itself. "This is what cooperation looks like," he told Dr. Lim Hai-wan, as they watched alien children play with human children in the city's first park. "The Council rules through fear and force. We build through friendship and shared knowledge." But not everyone was happy with humanity's expansion. In the Council chambers on Nexus Prime, emergency meetings were being held every day. The Vitharian Prime Crystal spoke to the assembled alien leaders. "The human infection is spreading. They now control systems we marked as empty. They have formed alliances with races we thought were extinct. If we do not act soon, they will become too powerful to stop." The Nephilim war leader, a swirling mass of angry red gas, agreed. "Our scouts report that human ships are superior to our own designs. Their colonies are growing faster than our own. They are becoming the threat we always knew they would become." But some Council members were beginning to have doubts. The Klaxon representative clicked his claws nervously. "Perhaps we were wrong about the humans. Their colonies are peaceful. They have not attacked any of our worlds. Maybe they just want to be left alone." The Prime Crystal's musical voice turned harsh. "They are expanding beyond their authorized territory. They are developing weapons that threaten Council superiority. They must be stopped before they inspire other races to rebel against our order." A decision was made. The Council would demand that humanity return to Earth immediately. If they refused, the Council would use its military to force them back. The ultimatum was delivered by quantum communication to every human colony simultaneously. The message was simple: return to Earth within 30 days or face military action. President Kang Mi-ra received the message in her office on Mars, where the Federation government had moved to be closer to the outer colonies. She called an emergency meeting of the Federation Council, which now included representatives from 6 alien races. They're threatening war, she announced to the assembled delegates. The Council wants us to abandon our colonies and return to Earth like prisoners. Corvin, the Corvani representative, hissed angrily. They did the same to us 300 years ago. We refused and went into hiding. But you humans are stronger than we were. You do not need to hide. The ethereal delegate spoke through the translation device. We have seen the Council's military records. They have 10,000 ships, but most are old designs. Your Federation has only 800 ships, but they are all new and advanced. Admiral Lee Dae-ho, now commanding the Federation's entire military, stood to address the Council. The Council is counting on us to be afraid. They expect us to surrender without a fight, just like the other races they destroyed. But we are not like the other races. He activated a holographic display showing the Federation's military strength. Our ships are faster, stronger, and smarter than Council vessels. Our colonies are defended by orbital platforms that can destroy anything the Council sends. Most importantly, we have allies who will fight beside us. President Kang Mi-ra looked around the room at the faces of humans and aliens who had chosen freedom over oppression. The Council wants an answer to their ultimatum. I say we give them one. She stood and activated the quantum communicator that would broadcast her message to every world in the galaxy. This is President Kang Mi-ra of the Terran Federation. We have received your ultimatum, and our answer is simple. No. We will not return to Earth. We will not abandon our colonies. We will not surrender our freedom. If you want to stop us, come and try. The message reached Nexus Prime 6 hours later. The Council was shocked that humanity had refused their demands. For thousands of years, no race had ever openly defied Council orders. The Prime Crystal's voice was filled with rage. They dare to refuse us? Prepare the Grand Fleet. We will show the galaxy what happens to those who challenge Council authority. But Admiral Lee Dae-ho was not waiting for the Council to attack. While they were assembling their massive fleet, Federation forces were already moving. The expansion phase was over. The war phase was about to begin. The largest military force in galactic history was gathering at Nexus Prime. Ships from all 12 Council races filled the space around the massive station. Vitharian crystal dreadnoughts sparkled like giant diamonds. Nephilim war clouds swirled with deadly energy. The insectoid klaxons brought their bioships that looked like flying monsters. Fleet Admiral John Byung-hun studied the intelligence reports from his command ship, the Defiant. The Council had assembled over 10,000 warships for what they called the final solution to the human problem. They want to end this war quickly, he told his staff officers. They think if they bring overwhelming force, we will surrender without fighting. Captain Lee Jinna commanded the Federation's stealth reconnaissance fleet. Her ships were invisible to Council sensors, thanks to ethereal phase shift technology. For weeks, her vessels had been watching the Council build their massive armada. Admiral, the Council fleet is preparing to move, she reported through quantum communication. They're splitting into 3 groups. One will attack Earth directly. One will hit our colonies. The third will destroy our industrial bases. Fleet Admiral John Byung-hun had expected this strategy. The Council thought like an empire that had ruled for millions of years. They believed in overwhelming force and direct attacks. But humans thought differently. Activate Operation Scattered Storm, he commanded. Across Federation space, 800 human warships received their orders. But instead of gathering into large fleets to meet the Council armada, they split into small groups and headed in different directions. The Federation would not fight the kind of war the Council expected. Dr. Ryu Min-ho ran the Federation's intelligence network from a hidden base in the asteroid belt around Proxima Centauri. His agents were scattered across Council space, many of them aliens who secretly supported the Federation. Admiral, our spies report that the Council is having supply problems, he told Fleet Admiral Jeon Byung-hun. They've never moved this many ships before. Their logistics system is breaking down. This was exactly what the humans had hoped for. The Council was used to fighting small wars against weak enemies. They had never faced an enemy that could strike at their supply lines across dozens of star systems. Captain Lee Jin-ah's stealth ships began Operation Scattered Storm by hitting infrastructure targets across Council space. They did not attack civilian populations or homes. Instead, they destroyed military shipyards, communication relays, fuel depots, and supply convoys. In the Altair system, Federation ships destroyed a massive shipyard that built Council dreadnoughts. In the Vega system, they knocked out the quantum communication hub that coordinated Council military operations. In the Wolf 359 system, they captured a supply convoy carrying weapons and ammunition for the Council fleet. The Council commanders were confused and angry. Their enemies were supposed to mass their forces for a great battle. Instead, the humans were attacking everywhere at once with small groups of ships that appeared and disappeared like ghosts. "Find their main fleet," demanded the Vetharian war leader. "We cannot fight an enemy we cannot see." But the humans had no main fleet. Every Federation ship was part of the attack. Every captain had the authority to choose their own targets. Every crew was trained to work independently, while supporting the overall mission. General Song Yun-ji led the most daring part of Operation Scattered Storm, while the Council fleet was scattered across the galaxy chasing human raiding parties. She led a small force directly to Nexus Prime. Her target was not the station's weapons or defenses. She wanted the Council's historical archives, which contained proof of their genocidal crimes against expelled races. "Remember, this is a stealth mission," she told her Marine commandos as their ships approached the station. "We get in, copy the data, and get out. No unnecessary fighting." But the mission did not go as planned. Council security forces detected the Federation ships as they approached the archive section. Alarms began sounding throughout the massive station. General Song Yun-ji made a quick decision. "All units switch to combat mode. We're not leaving without that data." The battle for Nexus Prime's archives lasted 6 hours. Federation Marines fought their way through the station's corridors while Council forces tried to stop them. The humans were outnumbered 10-1, but they had superior weapons and training. While her Marines held the corridor, General Song Yun-ji and her technical team broke into the main archive computer. What they found was even worse than Dr. Park So-young had discovered 3 years earlier. The Council had not just destroyed 3 races. They had eliminated dozens of species over millions of years. Any race that showed independence, creativity, or military skill was marked for extinction. The Council called it maintaining galactic stability. "Copy everything," General Song Yun-ji ordered her technicians. "The galaxy needs to see this." As the Federation forces fought their way out of the station, they broadcast the archived data across the galaxy. Every world with a quantum receiver got the evidence of the Council's crimes. The effect was immediate and devastating. On Council worlds, civilian populations rose in rebellion against their governments. Alien military units refused to fight for leaders who had committed genocide. The Council's unity began to collapse. Admiral Lee Dae-ho commanded the Federation forces that were fighting the main Council fleet near the Sirius system. His ships used hit-and-run tactics, striking fast and disappearing before the enemy could respond. "Admiral, we're receiving surrender requests from Klaxon ships," reported his communications officer. Lee Dae-ho was not surprised. The Klaxons had never fully supported the war against humanity. When they learned about the Council's history of genocide, many Klaxon commanders decided they were fighting on the wrong side. "Accept their surrenders," he ordered. "Any alien who lays down weapons will be treated with honor." The tide of war was turning. Council forces were abandoning the fight as more evidence of genocide was revealed. Some alien commanders joined the Federation forces. Others simply returned to their homeworlds to protect their own people. The Vetharian Prime Crystal sent a desperate message to all remaining Council forces. "The humans are using propaganda to turn us against each other. Do not believe their lies. Continue the attack!" But it was too late. The truth could not be hidden anymore. Species that had served the Council for millions of years now knew they were serving genocidal tyrants. Captain Shin Dong-woo was defending the New Korea colony when the last Council attack came. A force of Vetharian ships had refused to surrender and was determined to destroy at least one human world. "Captain, enemy dreadnoughts are approaching the planet," reported his tactical officer. "They're charging their planet killer weapons." Shin Dong-woo commanded only 6 ships against 20 enemy dreadnoughts. In the old days, this would have been impossible odds. But Federation ships were not like the ships of the old days. All ships implement swarm tactics, he ordered. Hit them fast and hard. The Federation ships moved like a pack of wolves attacking a herd of elephants. They were smaller and faster than the enemy dreadnoughts, but their weapons could penetrate the strongest Council armor. Working together, they destroyed the enemy ships one by one. When the last Vetharian dreadnought exploded, the Council war was effectively over. Scattered fighting continued for another month, but the Council as a military force had been destroyed. President Kang Mira stood before the Federation Council on Mars as reports came in from across the galaxy. Council governments were surrendering or collapsing. Alien species were declaring independence. The old order that had ruled the galaxy for millions of years was ending. We did not start this war, she told the assembled delegates, but we will finish it properly. The galaxy will not replace one tyranny with another. We will build something better. Fleet Admiral Jeon Byung-hoon reported the military situation. Council military resistance has ended. Their fleet is scattered. Most of their commanders have surrendered or joined our cause. Dr. Ryu Minho reported on the political situation. 43 species have declared independence from the Council. 18 have asked to join the Federation. The others want to govern themselves. The war was over, but the hardest part was just beginning. How do you rebuild a galaxy after destroying the government that had ruled it for millions of years? Admiral Lee Dae-ho looked out at the stars from his ship's bridge. Humanity had started this journey as expelled outcasts with no friends and no future. Now they were the founders of a new galactic civilization, but with great victory came great responsibility. The choices humanity made next would determine the fate of billions of beings across hundreds of worlds. The galaxy was watching to see if humans would be better rulers than the tyrants they had defeated. The old Nexus Prime Station was gone, destroyed in the final battle of the Council War. In its place, humanity built something new. The massive space station called New Horizon was not a symbol of power, but a symbol of hope. Chancellor Park Dong-hyun walked through the station's main assembly hall, where delegates from over 60 species were gathering for the first session of the Galactic Alliance. Some of these aliens had been enemies just months ago. Others had been hiding in the dark corners of the galaxy for centuries. 5 years ago, Earth was expelled from the galaxy for being too dangerous, he said in his opening speech. Today we gather to build a galaxy where no race will ever be expelled for being different. The new government was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Instead of a few powerful species ruling over many weak ones, every member race had an equal voice. Instead of decisions being made by ancient traditions, everything was decided by democratic votes. But building a new civilization was not easy. Dr. Kim Ah-young led the Galactic Rehabilitation Commission, which was trying to help species that had survived the Council's persecution. Some had been hiding for hundreds of years. Others had been reduced to a few thousand survivors living on forgotten worlds. We found the remnants of the Karani people on a moon in the Outer Rim, she reported to the Alliance Council. There are only 12,000 of them left, but they remember their old culture. They want to rebuild their homeworld. Similar stories came from across the galaxy. The Zephyrite had survived as nomadic traders, never staying in one place long enough for the Council to find them. The Malari had hidden in the gas clouds around dead stars, using their engineering skills to build secret habitats. Each rescued species brought new knowledge and new perspectives to the Alliance. The galaxy was becoming more diverse and creative than it had been in millions of years. But not everyone accepted the new order peacefully. Some former Council leaders refused to surrender and tried to restart the old system. War crimes tribunals were established to bring justice to those who had committed genocide. Admiral Yoon Seo-jin commanded the Alliance peacekeeping fleet, which was tasked with maintaining order during the transition. Unlike the Council's military, which existed to enforce obedience, the peacekeeping fleet protected the rights of all species. Admiral, we're receiving a distress call from the Kepler 186 system, reported her communications officer.
Former Council loyalists are attacking a refugee settlement. Yoon Seo-jin dispatched 3 ships to protect the refugees.
The loyalist forces were using old Council tactics, expecting their enemies to be weak and afraid. They did not expect to face Alliance warships crewed by veterans of the Council War. The battle was brief. The Loyalist ships surrendered when they realized they were outgunned and outmatched. Their crews were taken into custody and would stand trial for war crimes. "This is Alliance peacekeeping ship Justice," Yoon Seo-jin broadcast to the refugee settlement. "You are now under Alliance protection. No one will harm you again." These small actions, repeated across hundreds of worlds, slowly convinced the galaxy that the Alliance was different from the Council. The new government protected the weak instead of exploiting them. Ambassador Lee So-hee worked with former Council species to help them adapt to democratic government. Many aliens had lived under authoritarian rule for so long that they did not understand concepts like voting, free speech, or individual rights. "Democracy is not easy," she explained to a group of Vetharian leaders who were learning to govern their homeworld. "It requires everyone to participate. It requires everyone to respect different opinions. But it is worth the effort because it gives everyone a voice." Some species adapted quickly to democracy. Others struggled with the concept. The Alliance was patient and provided teachers and advisors to help everyone learn. The most difficult challenge was dealing with the deep cultural divisions that the Council had created. For millions of years, the Council had taught that some races were naturally superior to others. Changing these attitudes would take generations, but change was happening. On Alliance worlds, human children played with alien children. Scientists from different species worked together on projects that would benefit everyone. Artists created new forms of art that combined multiple cultural traditions. Dr. Park So-young, now the Alliance's chief science officer, led a project that amazed everyone. The Origins Project was investigating the mysterious evidence that humanity had been genetically modified by an unknown ancient civilization. "We've found genetic markers in human DNA that don't occur naturally," she reported to Chancellor Park Dong-hyun. "Someone changed our ancestors millions of years ago, giving us our unique adaptability and resistance to genetic stagnation." The investigation led to ancient ruins on worlds throughout the galaxy. These ruins belonged to a civilization that had disappeared long before the Council was formed. The evidence suggested that this ancient race had modified not just humans, but several other species as well. "They were preparing for something," Dr. Park So-young explained. "They knew that someday the galaxy would need species capable of change and growth. They were creating a genetic insurance policy against stagnation and tyranny. The ancient race had vanished, but their legacy lived on in humanity and other modified species. The Corvani, the Ethereals, and several other Alliance members all showed signs of ancient genetic modification. Admiral Lee Dae-ho, now retired from military service, stood in the observation deck of New Horizon Station. Through the massive windows, he could see ships from dozens of species docking at the station. Cargo vessels brought trade goods from across the galaxy. Passenger ships carried diplomats, scientists, artists, and tourists. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Dr. Park So-young joined him at the window. 5 years ago, we thought our story was ending. Instead, it was just beginning." Lee Dae-ho nodded as he watched a group of children from 6 different species playing in the station's central park. Human children with black hair ran alongside Corvani youngsters with green scales. Ethereal energy beings danced in the air above them while Vetharian crystal children sparkled in the artificial sunlight. "Do you think we did the right thing?" he asked. "We destroyed a government that had ruled for millions of years. We changed the entire galaxy." Dr. Park So-young smiled as she watched a human teacher helping alien students learn mathematics. "The Council destroyed dozens of species over millions of years. They were planning to destroy us too. We didn't change the galaxy, Admiral. We saved it." Reports came in daily from across Alliance space. New colonies were being established. Scientific discoveries were being shared freely between species. Trade and cultural exchange were bringing prosperity to worlds that had been poor under Council rule. The Alliance was not perfect. There were still conflicts between species. Some worlds struggled with poverty and political instability. Pirates and criminals took advantage of the transition period to cause trouble. But the galaxy was growing and changing in ways it never could under Council rule. New art forms were created by artists from multiple species working together. New technologies emerged from scientific cooperation between different races. New forms of government developed as each world found its own path to democracy. Chancellor Park Dong-hyun stood before the Alliance Council for his 5th annual address. Representatives from over 200 worlds filled the Great Assembly Hall of New Horizon Station. 5 years ago, humanity was expelled from the galaxy for being too dangerous, he said. The Council was right about one thing. We were dangerous. We were dangerous to tyranny. We were dangerous to stagnation. We were dangerous to those who would deny freedom to others. The assembly erupted in cheers from dozens of species: humans, Corvani, ethereals, Betharians, Klaxons, and many others applauded together. But we were not dangerous to peace, the Chancellor continued. We were not dangerous to prosperity. We were not dangerous to justice. We have proven that different species can work together as equals. We have proven that democracy can work on a galactic scale. As the session ended, delegates returned to their ships to carry news of alliance decisions back to their homeworlds. The galaxy was united not by fear and force, but by shared values and mutual respect. That night, Admiral Lee Dae-ho sat in his quarters writing his memoirs. The story he was telling was not just about humanity's victory over the Council. It was about how a species that was rejected and exiled became the foundation of a new galactic civilization. His final words captured the true meaning of humanity's journey. We were not chosen to rule the galaxy. We were chosen to free it. The ancient race that modified our genetics did not create us to be conquerors. They created us to be liberators. When tyranny arose, someone needed to have the strength and will to stop it. That someone was us. Outside his window, the stars shone with the lights of 1,000 worlds where beings of dozens of species lived in freedom. The galaxy was no longer ruled by fear. It was guided by hope, and at the center of it all, humanity had found its true destiny. Not as rulers of the galaxy, but as its guardians of freedom,